Hi, everybody. It's Sam Bennett from theorganizedartistcompany.com here with my right-hand girl, Leonore Chia. Hi, Leonore.
Hello. Hi, nice to be here.
Leonore is my team leader. She's our head coach. She's my right hand. She's my sister from another mother, my dearest, nearest, and dearest. So it's always a treat to have her with us. And I want to start the way I like to start all the things I teach with a little bit of breathing to bring us all into the same space at the same time, and also to set aside this time from other time. Like, we're so used to going through our day, like getting things done, getting things done, getting things done. And yet at the end of the day, we feel like we didn't get anything done. This is a moment to step outside of our regular day-to-day life and take a look at what's going on. Take a look at our creativity, take a look at our projects, take a look at ourselves and how we're creating our reality, and maybe have some insights and make some changes. I've taught this material once or twice before, and we've had some pretty big ahas happen. So I'm excited for you guys to get some pretty big ahas. So if you want to shift around in your chair a little bit, just to let your body know, like, oh, this is something different. You want to shake out your hands. You can place your hands palms up in an attitude of receiving. You do everything for everybody else all day. This is a moment for you to receive, to get filled up and energized. You can let your belly go really poochy soft. You can lift up your head, give yourself a little Mona Lisa smile. Soften your gaze. Soften your heart. Soften your judgments about yourself. Soften your judgments about other people. Think something lovely. Some wonderful compliment you've received. You ready? We're going to inhale for 4, hold for 7, exhale for 8, and we're going to do that 3 times. So let's inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Thank you. Thank you for doing that with me. Thank you for reminding all of us by doing that the power of the breath, the power of concentration, the power of getting energetically connected to other people who are like-minded and like-hearted and on a similar path. You are here because you are ready to fight the strongest force on the planet. The strongest force on the planet is inertia. Scientifically, this is not like a personal judgment I have. Scientifically, inertia is the strongest force on the planet. Inertia is the thing that slows you down, that leads to the inevitable decay. Inertia is the thing that the less you do, the less you are motivated to do, right? It's the opposite of if you have something to do, ask a busy person, right? So inertia is like walking through quicksand. It's like walking through mud. It's like every step is a slog. You can't get things going. Everything feels hard and challenging. That's inertia. And you are done. You're sick of it. You're ready to not feel that way anymore. You're also tired of procrastinating. And give me a little amen in the chat if you are tired of procrastinating. Give me a little yep, I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of knowing that I have these great ideas and not moving forward on them. I'm sick of getting halfway through and quitting. I'm sick of getting almost to the end and then having that not work out. I'm done. I want to see conclusion. I want to see excitement. I want to see completion. I want to break through the tape at the end of the race. Like, I'm ready, right? We are getting a lot of amens. Amen, 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 amen. Right, good, good, good. Then you're in the right place. The third thing that you may be sick of, inertia, procrastination, is the endless self-criticism. The endless self-criticism. If you are sick and tired of being endlessly judged by your own voice. If you are sick and tired of the voice that tells you that you can't, you're not good enough, who do you think you are? Nobody's going to pay for that. Nobody wants that. You can't make a living doing that. You have to have something practical and something to fall back on. And that's something that teacher said to you in the third grade, or that one disappointing thing, and then you never tried again, and you just you chivvy yourself about it all the time. Are you sick of it? I'm sick of it. I think Leonore's sick of it. Diane's saying, I'm ready to defy gravity. Amen. Amen. So we're tired of inertia. We're tired of procrastination. We're tired of the endless self-criticism. We're noticing that yelling inside of our head is not making us better. It's not helping. And what we want is to feel juicy. What we want is to defy gravity. What we want is to feel lit up and plugged in. We want to feel like our work matters. We want to feel like we're engaged in something meaningful. You know, I was saying before we started recording that I was in a conference the last couple of days, and I see people that I know, and they say, how are you, Sam? And I said, I'm great. And not just Facebook great. I'm actually great. And everybody laughed at that. They thought that was really funny. But you want to feel great, and not just Facebook great. Actually great. Sexy, committed, connected, lit up. That's the feeling we're going for. And I called this call Falling in Love Again, reconnecting with your passion, creativity, and joy, because to me, that sensation of falling in love again is really what we're talking about. That's what it feels like to me. So I want you to think right now, what did it feel like for you the last time you fell in love? Or a time you fell in love? What was the sensation in your body? What were you thinking? How did it feel? Go ahead and type in the chat. Did it feel tingly? Like even just talking about it now, I feel kind of tingly. Maybe it was a falling in love with a person, or a baby, a child, your child, a grandchild. Maybe it was falling in love with an idea, or a pair of shoes. The other day I had a pair of shoes, these fabulous leopard French shoes that I totally fell in love with. And when I saw them in the store, it felt like destiny. It felt like, oh, there you are, my shoes. And was I surprised that when I got up to the register, I would have bought them no matter what the price was. I get up to the register and the checkout girl goes, oh, these are half off. I'm like, of course they are, because they are my shoes. So that sense of rightness in the world. Nessa says, I love falling in love. I watch Love of Movies 24. Great. Good. What did it, think back. Leonore, what did it feel like for you the last time you fell in love? I remember you calling me going, I think I'm in love.
Felt like mainlining heroin.
Yeah, like you're on a drug, right? Mm-hmm. Martin says, alive, a whole new universe. Yeah, that sense that the world is made new. And even ordinary things feel very exciting, you know? It feels like love is everywhere. And I remember feeling slightly smug. I'm sure it was kind of annoying, that feeling of like, I can see that love is everywhere. You know, I can see that love is in the song I'm hearing. I can see that love is in this old man sitting outside the grocery store. I can see that love is in this child's face. And other people seem all bitter and disconnected. And I'm like, oh, it's so sad because they don't know that love is everywhere.
It's like true until like the roles have exchanged, right? You're like, those people falling in love.
Right? Exactly. That feeling goes away and it is dark. Dark. Good. Warm and cozy, says Laura. Yes, it feels warm and cozy. That to me feels like under a down comforter, like safe and yummy. Diane says, happy, happy, joy, joy. Excellent. And make a note for yourself about how the feeling of falling in love feels, but also what was your attitude? How did you feel about yourself and about the future and about your projects? What was your point of view from falling in love?
Yeah, there's this quality, Sam, isn't there, where it's like everything becomes more meaningful. It's like things have an inner meaning or an inner radiance.
Yeah, and like
always present.
The opposite of that day-to-day, oh, I'm stuck in a routine, everything's a drag. It feels like everything is special and lit up. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Nessa says, so confident, happy, walking on air. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. Okay. So now here's what I want you to notice. How easy it is for you to recreate that feeling right now. Catherine says, deeply happy, silly and beyond optimistic, unstoppable with infinite possibilities. Jan says, everything is possible. Exactly. So that feeling that everything is possible is within you right now. You have created it right now. Right now, I have it in my body. My body's like, woo, woo, woo. Everything is possible. So notice that you don't need anything external to happen for you to have that feeling. You don't need someone to be in love with you. You don't need approval. You don't need to be younger. You don't need to be thinner. You don't need to be, more successful or more rich or more whatever than you are sitting right here, right now. I'm in my fuzzy slippers. Everything is possible. Everything is possible. So really bring that into yourself in the same way that those 3 breaths could sort of readjust your mindset and your body. This tuning into that feeling of love is always available to you. You are 100% in charge of the flow of love in your life. And if you are looking for writer downers, that's one of them. I am 100% in charge of the flow of love in my life. I am 100% in charge of the flow and love in my life. That love is there all the time. You may or may not be plugging into it. You may or may not be feeling it, but that doesn't mean it's not there. It's just like your creativity. Your creativity has never once abandoned you. It has never once let you down. It is there flowing, abundant all the time. You may or may not be tuning in. You may or may not be saying yes, but it's there. It's there. Martin says he loves my chair. Thank you. This chair was a gift from my father. It's my father's chair, and he decided he was ready to pass it on, so he shipped it out to California. I love it too. So you are 100% control of the flow of love in your life. And I just really want you to notice, you really don't need them to love you, right? Byron Katie has a great little teaching moment where she talks about that first crush, that first love of your life. That Teen Beat magazine, that teen crush you had. Like, you didn't even want them to know you, right? It was so pure. It was so far away. It was so idolatrous, so dreamy, like if you had met them in person, that would have just ruined everything. So, was there ever a love so pure? And so noticing that you may have had a belief that like, oh, I'm not getting approval. I'm not doing well. Nobody's noticing. And therefore I cannot have this feeling. No, you can have this feeling anytime you want it. And, I will also point out that this feeling that everything is possible, that this beyond optimism, this almost silly feeling of optimism, it might be easier for you to move forward on your projects from a state of believing that everything is possible. Do you think yes? Do you think yes? Jan says, for many, being in love allows them to love themselves as well. That's right. I think that's one of the great things about falling in love. It's not so much, it is partly how much you love the other person, but you get to re-love yourself. You get to experience yourself through the eyes of your beloved. All of a sudden, your same old stories are funny again. All of a sudden, your flesh is made new because you are loved, right? So there's value. There's value in this feeling that everything is possible because it can move us forward on our goals. So we're less than 15 minutes in, and I think you all have had at least one aha here. And again, if you're a writer downer kind of person, go ahead and write it down. If you want to share, go ahead and share in the chat. But this is really what I do. I take things that feel complicated and sticky and hard, and I make them kind of simple. Not always easy. It's not easy to sustain this feeling of loviness, but it's fairly simple. So I'm an author. I'm an actor. I uncork creativity. That's what we do here at the Organized Artist Company. We uncork creativity. And we're on a mission. And our mission is to have 1 million creative people spending at least 15 minutes a day, every single day, 365 days a year, on the projects that matter most to them. Worldwide, 1 million people. In the next, 2, maybe 3 years. By 2020, 1 million people spending 15 minutes a day on the projects that matter most to them. You with me? And here's the thing, and there's actually a part 2, because I don't just want them doing that. I want them talking about it. I want people talking about their creative projects in the same way that, we talk about what workout we're doing or what diet we're on. Oh, I'm doing paleo. Oh, I'm doing yoga booty. We talk about that all the time. I want people talking about what jazzes them up creatively. What problems are they solving creatively? What are they working on? What are they trying? What are they experimenting with? Oh, I've been experimenting with counted cross stitch. Ooh, that's too much counting for me. I've been playing the flute, right? That's the conversation I want to see happening. This makes me curious. What is your project? That thing you've been procrastinating on, that thing that critical voice in your head says you can't do, that thing that inertia has slowed down. What's your project? Is it a book? Is it a piece of art? Is it getting back to your painting or your textiles? Is it a business thing, building a new website or getting new clients or making more money? Is it a personal thing, like making time for your prayer and meditation every day? Changing your diet, changing your exercise. Go ahead and type in, because I'm really curious. I want you guys to see for each other what everybody else is up to, because this community is so cool. Leonore, tell everybody what your creative project is these days.
Well, I'm singing in a Balkan music choir for women. I write poetry, and I'm writing a memoir about becoming a deer hunter and healing my sexuality.
In her spare time. Exactly. Good. Photography, writing, knitting, attending university, direct sales. Yep. Helping others create their priorities. Yeah. Very good.
What's your practice these days, Sam? See, she doesn't like it when I don't let her off the hook. But.
It's true. Leonore's job is to not let me off the hook. All right, I'm going to show you. Because you guys know I've written 2 books: Get It Done, From Procrastination to Creative Genius in 15 Minutes a Day, and the new book, Start Right Where You Are: How Little Changes Can Make a Big Difference for Overwhelmed Procrastinators, Frustrated Overachievers, and Recovering Perfectionists. Available in your local bookstore. Also available on Audible and Kindle and all that. Makes a lovely gift. We're just at the anniversary of Start Right Where You Are.
Oh my God, has it been a year already?
It's been a year.
It's crazy.
And in the intervening year, I have written another book by hand. So you can see it's by hand. So I have to, here's one that says, be careful what you get good at. I like this too. Expect to be wrong. This is not unique to me, but it's very profound. The only thing that can be missing from any situation is that which you are not providing. I didn't come up with that, but it's deep. So my project now is to turn this pile of paper into an actual book proposal. And that may be my Get It Done project. I'm teaching the Get It Done class starting in a couple weeks. We're going to talk about that in a minute. But that may be my Get It Done project, is to see if I can make some progress on that book.
Don't you love the look behind the curtain, people? See, we too have piles of paper.
Yes.
But the methods work. The methods work. Yes.
It's true. Scott says, revising a novel, finishing my latest film, and launching a software company. Writing much more, says Laura. Getting my copywriting business making money. Yes. Oh, Annaline says, writing a spiritual book. I love it. Okay. So don't everybody else's projects sound cool? Now I want you to write down what's holding you back. And if you're watching the replay of this, I want you to do this too. Write down what your project is, or as you see, people often have a couple of different projects. Write down what your project is and write down what is holding you back. What's the thing that's getting in your way? What's the thing that is impeding your progress and contributing to that inertia, that procrastination, that self-criticism? Fear, insecurity, and me. Yeah, and fear of what? Fear of what? Like, let's get specific here, because people say all the time, oh, it's my fear. Well, it's fear of what? It's fear that I won't be able to handle the success, that I'll crumble. I'm shy. I don't like that much attention. Is it fear that my strength won't hold out? Is it fear that I might be more successful than my spouse or partner and they might leave me? Right? Belief, fear, actual physical energy, too much other stuff to do, housework, kids. Oh, Diane says, choosing which one because it might not be the right choice. Yeah, fear of getting in over my head and not being able to handle it. Oh, you guys. I love how straight up honest you're being about this. And I can feel everyone nodding. Like, yep, the kids in the housework. Yep, me. Yep, my anxiety. Yep, perfectionism, says Susanna. Yeah. Good. Kevin says, letting go of what I've done before so I can have all my energy here to create going forward. Yeah, these. Now, here's what I want you to notice. If we were friends having lunch and one of your friends said, I'm afraid of getting in over my head and not being able to handle it, like Laura did, what would you say back? What would you say back to that person? What would you say back? I would probably say, don't be ridiculous. Of course you can handle it. Of course you can handle it. And if you need help, we're here to help you. Right? Leonora, what would you say if somebody said that to you?
You are so much more capable than you think. And you have so many more resources than might be apparent at this moment.
Yeah. What are you afraid of? Yeah. Annaline says, oh, I'm afraid of being in the limelight. Now, if you had a friend who said, oh, I'm afraid of being in the limelight, I might say, well, you could get your work done and not necessarily have to be in the limelight. You could be reclusive. You could hire a really great assistant to manage your fan mail, right? So what I want you to notice here is that other people's fears and anxieties seem like sort of not that big a deal. This is how we are, right? Other people's fears and anxieties feel like that's not that, like fear of failure. Of course, everybody's afraid of failure, but you've failed before. It's not that big of a deal. And you're probably not going to fail because you're great at what you do. So give it a try, right? But your fear and anxiety seems very real, right? Everybody else's could be managed. You have an advice for them. You have a system for them. You've got something that would help them, but yours feels like a brick wall. And you all are spiritually evolved enough to know that it can't possibly be true that everybody else's blocks are not real and your block is real. However, there's still that thing in your mind going, no, Sam, really, mine is real. Right?
It's so true.
Right?
Sam and my coaching sessions with each other basically boils down to, we talk out my thing until I realize, oh yeah, no, this actually isn't real. Okay, thanks. Never mind.
Oh wait, this isn't really a problem.
Oh, yeah, right. I mean, okay.
Right, exactly. So, and this may be something that you just understand intellectually and don't totally feel in your body yet. Your behavior may not be reflecting this. And that's okay. That's how we know spiritual growth is happening, is first we understand things with our mind, and then we understand them because we are able to do it in our life. So if nothing else, understand with your mind that your block is imaginary. Even the ones that seem really real, like, no, I have a new baby in the house. No, I really don't have any money. I really don't have any money. No, I really cripplingly afraid, no, my perfectionism is really serious. Understand that that's not actually real. And I'm going to give you a strategy to move forward on those ones at the end, right? I'm gonna hold that as a little teaser to keep you on until the end of the call. But it's a really simple, really great little strategy that worked for me in moving on something that I thought would never move. Like, I thought this is just a giant block that will never move. So I'm going to give you that little technique that'll help move you forward. But first, I want to teach you this process that I promised you that has to do with taking a look at our creative process and what might be really holding us back. Like, let's get under the hood a little bit and move away from that, like, oh, I want to do this thing, but I can't because of this, which is sort of where we stay. That's that procrastination, right? I want to do this thing, but I can't because of this. But I want to do this thing, but because I can't because of this. Let's look a little more deeply. So, we have an idea. You guys like my slides? These are my slides. I don't like PowerPoint. So you have an idea and you want it to become a thing. And whether the thing is a book or a book proposal or more money or a film or a software company or a coaching business, you have an idea and you want it to become a thing, and we get frustrated because that's not happening. We get frustrated because we have an idea, I want it to be a thing, it's not happening. But there's actually some steps inside here and outside of here that I want to point out that might help illuminate. So first of all, there's this question of where do ideas come from? And I don't know the answer to that. So I draw the infinity symbol because they come from infinity. They come from somewhere. They come from the great energetic net that connects all of us. They come from who knows? Who knows where they come from? This is on my long list of questions for God. This is one of them. Where do ideas come from? But they come from somewhere and they wind up in your mind. And notice you don't get every idea in the world. You just get your ideas. So this could be another little point of inquiry. Why do you get your idea and nobody else in your family did? Nobody else on your block, right? And somebody else gets that and you think, wow, how did they even think of that? I would never think of that, right? Because it was their idea. Okay, so recognizing that ideas come from somewhere, they arrive in your brain, and if those ideas are met with a lot of self-judgment, a lot of negativity, a lot of just sort of the generally unhelpfulness, the idea may well go back into infinity, right? So you have an idea, oh, I think I'd like to, make an animated comic book. And then the other voices in your head say, you can't do that. You don't know anything about that. You're too old to do that. Nobody cares about that. Well, a lot of times that will make the idea go away. Sometimes it won't. Sometimes the idea will persist anyway. And you guys have that. You have ideas that have been knocking at the door for years. That's a persistent idea. But let's say the idea is met by helpfuls. Like, let's say the idea is met with curiosity, interest, warmth, positivity, right? Then you might take an initial action, right? So if the idea is met by helpfuls, that helpful energy moves it. And this initial action stage, this is what I call the sparkly breadcrumb stage, right? Where you have a little idea like, oh, I think I might want to XYZ. And then you start looking around your world like, where is there information? You might Google something, you might call somebody, you might start making notes, you might sort of be on the alert for signs and signals, and you might take a step or two towards that thing. And I always want you to pay attention to that sparkly breadcrumb stage because there's a lot of information there. Sometimes we get a little idea like, oh, I think I'd like to take a cruise to Scandinavia. I think that would be that seems sort of like a good idea. And then I start doing a little research on it. And it turns out that none of the dates are right. And it's like 10 times more than I thought it was going to be. And I don't like the way this is. And I don't like the way that is. And it's a lot of knees and elbows. And it's like, oh, not the right time. Not the right time. Like maybe not never, but not right now. It's not going to work. So whether this initial action is met by just not the right timeness, or it's met by a bunch of unhelpfuls, everybody else says, you can't go to Scandinavia. How could you do that? That's not possible. Then the idea may also go back to whence it came. But let's say we have this idea comes from infinity, it arrives in our brain, it's met by helpfuls, we take a little initial action and that goes really well, like, oh my gosh, I totally found exactly what I was looking for. Oh my gosh, I was standing in line and the person next to me totally has that job. When I sat next to this person on the plane. Then we get into momentum. And this is momentum. And this is the part of the process that I think most people think about when they think about the creative process. Like, this is sort of the getting the work done part. And sometimes it's very short, and sometimes it takes a long time. Sometimes it's super easy and flow, and that's always so fun. And sometimes it's kind of a slog, and sometimes it's a mix of both. But this is the rehearsal process. This is the actual painting of the painting. This is the learning the choreography. This is the getting the gallery together. Like, this is the work part. And like I said, it's the part that people often misunderstand, when other people who are not highly creative look at the creative process and they're like, how did you memorize all those lines? It's like, please, the memorization was the least of it. Like, how did you type all those, how did you write it? It's such a long book. It's like, it's not a question of typing. That's not the hard part. So that's the momentum. And again, if the momentum is met by helpfuls, it's, you're going to keep going. If it's met by a lot of unhelpfuls, a lot of discouragement, a lot of self-judgment, a lot of frustration, it may also go back into the ether. It may also just go back to being an idea. But if the momentum keeps up and you get enough helpfuls, it's going to be a thing. Ta-da! Completion. Finish line. Thing. Done. And then, of course, it starts all over again. Now, I want to tell you two stories from my life about this process that may help show you a little bit about where you're getting stuck. You may have some ideas already of like, oh, I didn't realize that it's just like I could get into here if I was willing to not listen to the unhelpfuls and listen more to the helpfuls. That alone might be enough. But the first story I want to tell you is about this part here. So some of you know Luke. Luke is my person. He's my partner. I call him my husband-ish because we're married-ish. If we could be bothered to get married, we would be married, but we can't, so we're not. And Luke is a musician. He is getting a PhD in music theory. He has a master's in musicology and a master's in composition. He has been in a rock and roll band. He composes and orchestrates both rock and roll music and also classical music. He's one of those. So he recently mentioned that he was out of manuscript paper, and so I was ordering from Amazon, so I ordered some anyway. And it turned out he really liked these books. They come spiral bound, so you can lay them flat, and they're kind of cheap, so it doesn't feel like it's a big important thing, like it's for notes, literally. So he gets these new, oh, thank you, sweetheart. He gets the new notepads, and he says, I've had this little tune in my head all day. I think I'm gonna write it out. So he did. He wrote it out. And then he took a picture of it and he put it up on Facebook. And then some people commented like, oh, I just played your piece. That's very nice. And the next day he said, I have this other tune in my head. I think I'm going to write it out. And so he wrote it out. And then he took a picture of it and he put it up on Facebook. And more people commented and said, oh, this one's so neat. And he writes different. And so he's been doing this every day for I don't know, a couple weeks now. And they're all different. Like, one is like sort of a Viennese waltz kind of a thing, and the other is like Beatles 1964. He wrote one that he thought might win the Eurovision Song Contest. Like, it's sort of a pop song. And what I find first of all, I'm just fascinated that he can do that because my brain doesn't do that at all. But what I found fascinating is as we were talking about this, he said he's always had a piece of music in his head every day since he was a kid. He said his uncle once described him as walking down the street as though suspended from a coat hanger because he walks down the street like composing in his mind. But he always thought, well, if I don't remember them, it's not worth writing down. So he had all these ideas that would come. They'd be an idea. He'd think about them for a while, and then they would go back into the ether. And then he would have another idea. He'd think about it for a while. It would go back into the ether. Now that he was somehow, the arrival of these cheap manuscript pads enabled him to take some initial action. And now he's got some momentum. And now it's kind of turning into a thing. It's turning into a body of work. Now, what's going to happen with these little pieces? Who knows? Maybe nothing. But how fun. And it's so gratifying for him and such a stress reliever for somebody who's finishing a dissertation to have this little creative outlet. And he said the other day, he says, I feel like a musician again. I feel like a musician again. And you know, when you're in a PhD program, they try to beat the love of your subject out of you. So for him to fall in love with music again, right before his dissertation is done, I find amazing. So maybe this is you. Maybe you have had a million ideas and you thought, oh, they're just little ideas. It doesn't really mean anything. But perhaps there's something, some initial action you could take, some helpfuls that could buoy you up, some momentum that could keep things going. And you don't have to know what the destination is. You could just keep going, right? Okay, so here's story number 2, and this one's about me. And it has to do with this part. Actually, not even this. It has to do with this part right here. That one. Because here's me. I get an idea, boom, initial action, boom, momentum, boom, boom, boom. Like this, there's a reason I wrote a book called Get It Done. It's not hard for me to do this, right? I have a lot of helpfuls. I have a lot of ideas. I have a lot of support. I'm good at getting things done. So often, idea arrives. Initial action, momentum, boom, 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 boom. And 1 to 99, like all green lights, all helpfuls, and then nothing. Stop. End of story. And it wouldn't turn into a thing. And this didn't happen all the time. A lot of my stuff did turn into things. But it happened a lot, especially in my the biggest example is in my acting career. Some of you know my background's in theater. I was trained as an actor. I went to theater camp. Like I was with the Second City for a long time. I always had a pretty good acting career compared to most people. I always had an agent. I was always auditioning. I got a lot of parts. I just got a residual check the other day for a TV show. But a lot of the time, I would get an audition, go to the audition, get called back, go to producers. It's between me and 2 other girls. It's between me and 1 other girl, and the other girl gets it. Over and over and over again. Call back, no. Call back, no. Call back, no. Audition, no. Call back, no. Yes, no. So maddening. Because if you're getting called back, it means you're doing the job, like you're capable of doing the job. They don't call you back if they don't think you can do it. And some shows, like Gilmore Girls, so I had shows that would call me in like 5, 6, 8, 9 times. I auditioned for one of the Star Trek shows so many times, the casting director thought he'd booked me. I was there and he goes, well, Sam, you've done the show before. Because, they use so much makeup, they can hire the same actors sometimes over and over again. He goes, well, Sam, you've done the show before. And I'm like, no, actually, Ron, I haven't. No. Like I'd walk in and LeVar Burton would be like, Sam, hi, how's it going? I'm like, hey, let's call him that girl we never hire. We love her, right? Frasier, Third Rock from the Sun. Oh my gosh, so many shows where like I was a permanent addition in the casting office, and they never, by the time Gilmore Girls was going off the air, they were calling me in every week because they felt so bad that they had called me in so many times and never been able to give me a part. They were like, all right, it says that they're a, African-American midget tap dancer, but we're going to call you in anyway because we really want to see. Never happened. Now, some of that's just out of my control. Some of that's the part gets written out. The producer's daughter gets it. The other girls, one time it was between me and Christine Baranski. Frankly, I would give the part to Christine Baranski too. But it happened enough that I noticed it as a pattern. And feeling like, okay, there's a lot of this that's out of my control, but what part of it is in my control? So I started to look for where are the other places in my life where I am going from 1 to 99 and not all the way to 100. And I noticed a couple of places, like, so you guys might know I've been doing CrossFit, which makes me a super badass. And in CrossFit, a lot of times we warm up with like a little 400-meter run. So 400-meter run, come back, and you know how it is, you're running, and then you get like almost to the door, so you stop and just walk the last couple of steps. And I'm like, wait, that's the 99 to 100. Why am I walking? Why am I stopping before I'm all the way back? Run the whole way. Run in the door. Oh, I'm almost done. You start to slack off. Why? No, push all the way through. I did almost all the dishes. No, do all the dishes. I put away most of the laundry. No, put away all of the laundry. Seems silly, but I noticed it. I noticed that little energy drop, and I noticed how I felt when I pushed through all the way. So this may be your thing too. Is that push from 1 to 99, right? So I want you to notice where in this you get blocked. Where are your patterns? Because if it's happening over and over again, it's not out there, it's in here, right? So some of you get stuck here in momentum, like you get halfway through and you get bored. Or you get halfway through and you get distracted. Sparkly thing, right? Or you get to about here and your fear of success kicks in. So you sabotage. Or you drop it like a hot potato, right? Some of you get stuck here. You never take an initial action. You never pick up the phone. I was teaching a call yesterday and I had all these people like, well, what if, what should I be doing? What if with this? What if that? I'm like, you're trying to create this whole thing inside your head. You got to get it out of your head and get some more information. All right. So take a look. Where in this? Oh, because, does it go from eternity to idea to initial action to momentum to thing? Not shockingly, this mimics the 6 weeks of the Get It Done workshop that starts next week. Ta-da! How could it be? I know. But we're going to talk about all that. So with your permission, you guys, I'm going to tell you just a little bit about Get It Done workshop and what it is and why you might want to think about doing it. It won't take very long. And then you probably know already if you're interested. And then I'll give you that one tip I promised you about breaking through those blocks that feel really real, even though they're not. So Get It Done is a class I started teaching like in 2000, like in a church basement to 11 people. And I've taught it every year since, at least once a year. I used to teach it 3 times a year. Now I only teach it not even once a year. And it's possible that this may be the last time I do it live. I don't know. You can go to www.monstergetitdone to see all the details. Leonor can put that in the chat for us. But it's really designed to help you get clear to uncork some of those ideas so that you get ideas flowing a little bit more abundantly. It helps you decide which of your 137 great ideas you want to move forward on. It helps you determine the initial actions and the momentum actions that are going to work for you in your life, right? Because I noticed the whole reason I started doing Get It Done was because there's all this productivity stuff out there and it's super useful, but it doesn't always apply to creatives. And then there's all this creativity stuff out there, but it's all like, spiritual healing around your creativity, which is good. But I'm like, no, what about us? Like, what's the practical stuff? So this is practical and spiritual and personal all at the same time. You get a bunch of things with the Get It Done workshop. You get a bonus that's we sell this for $497, and it's called How to Make $1,000 Anytime You Want. And it's this 2-hour webinar that's kind of magical. Like, it walks you in the side door of making money, spins you around 3 times, sprinkles you with fairy dust, and poof, you have a plan to bring in money in the next 2 weeks. For real, with what you have right now as the person you are right now. It's really fun just in theory, and it's incredibly fun when you actually make it work for yourself. And I've had people all the time, I get emails all the time like, that was amazing. I just made $1,000 in 3 days. That was amazing. I just made $700 in 2 weeks. That was amazing. And it was really easy and fun. So you get that. You get that right away. You can start that this afternoon if you go to monstergetitdone.com and sign up for the program. You also get a couple of PDFs of books that I've written that are not generally available. You also get a full year of support. So you get a full year in the 365 Club, which means you get daily inspirational emails. Some of them are a little kiss on the cheeks. Some of them are a little whack upside the head. People love those. You get to be part of the Facebook community. And I cannot underline for you enough how meaningful this community is. It's so active. They're so smart. You can see how smart just the people on this call are. Really engaged, super supportive, super kind, very wise, great with resources, very generous. A great place to go and celebrate, because sometimes you have success in your life and you can't really tell anybody, or you tell people and they don't really respond the way you want them to. So this is a community that will celebrate with you when you have wins and will gather you in their tender arms when you have a breakdown, which happens all the time. So, and I'm on there all the time. Leonore's on there all the time. So daily email, Facebook club, and a monthly call with me. So you can ask me anything. Once a month, you have an opportunity to check in, because while Get It Done is great, it's only 6 weeks. So what happens, after New Year's? What happens in the spring? I want you to be able to come back and say, all right, I'm at this stage now. What do I do? Or I'm having this problem now. What do I do? Because right? New level, new devil, right? You'll elevate up to something and then you got a whole new set of problems. So I want to be with you through that. So you get how to make $1,000. You get a year in the 365 Club for free. And then you get the Get It Done workshop itself, which is 6 weeks of Zoom. We're going to do it like this. We're going to do it live, streaming video. It's recorded. If you can be there live, it's great. But otherwise, it's recorded and you get lifetime access to it. And it's a lot of stuff like this. Like, it's simple, like we've been talking about today. It's simple, but it's not easy. And it's very practical. It's very practical. I had somebody just the other day comment that they were concerned when they signed up for one of my programs that it was going to be like a white chiffon jumpsuit. Like, lovely, but not very practical. I said, no, this will be, and she was delighted to find out that in fact, it's super practical. We're going to get your project picked. We're going to get your project plan made, the one that's going to work for you and your life, even with the housework and the kids and the juggling 900 things. You're going to make a plan that's going to work for you. We got weekly check-in to keep you accountable and keep you moving forward. We're going to work on some of those inner demons and inner barriers to success that may have kept you stuck, the unhelpfuls. And whatever your project is, people say, like, I don't know what my project is. That's okay. We will figure that out in the first session. But your project maybe, I don't even know, Leonore, what have people done? They've done a book proposal. The very first time I taught this online, somebody did a telesummit and made like 10 grand.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, book proposals, people decluttering the house. Somebody made a phone call that he really needed to make, which then restarted his acting career, if I remember correctly.
One call. He took the entire class to make one phone call.
Which, totally makes sense. What a brilliant use of the class, frankly.
I can think of a phone call that I need to make that would change my life that I haven't made for 2 years.
Totally. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Sometimes it's life stuff like, clearing up your father's estate or dealing with insurance papers, clearing off your desk, websites, business stuff. It works for all of it and this is why people take this class over and over again too, because it's not like, I've got a simple 12-step plan that you follow my 36-stage blueprint and the roadmap it's not like that. It's like this. It's like I lay out structure and ask questions and you apply it to your actual life. So the other thing that doesn't happen is people don't get to session 2 and drop out because it's about you and your life. So you stay engaged because it's not like, oh, you have to learn my thing. It's about your thing, right? This is not for you if you are like a clear no right now. You're like, love you, Sam, not for me. Great, good. I love a good no. I feel good about a good no. It is also not for you if you are having rent and grocery issues. Because while this is a very modestly priced class, it's not free. It's $365. It's $1 a day for your project. So, and you can pay that in full. You can pay it in 3 payments of $141. And satisfaction guaranteed or your money cheerfully refunded. So if you get it and you don't dig it, just let me know anytime and we will cheerfully refund every dime, no questions asked. I get so annoyed with some of my brothers and sisters in the personal development community who are like, well, I make them prove to me that they've been on every call and I make them show me their homework. And then if they still doesn't work, then I'll give them their money back. I'm like, oh, please. That's ridiculous. If I haven't helped you, I don't want your money for whatever reason. So also, I just got a little flash. if you are sitting here nodding and feeling like, oh yeah, Sam, this is good. I like this. But I'm pretty sure I can handle it. I think I know what I need to do. I know what I need to do. I just need to make myself do it. I'm pretty sure I can do it myself. I don't think I need a class. I think I can do it. I just want to call bourgeois right now because you are suffering from self-sufficiency disease. And I know this disease because I have this disease. And I want to point out to you that you cannot do this alone. If you could do it alone, you would have done it by now. If you could do it alone, you would have done it by now. Look at all the other things you have done by now. And it's not because you're stupid and it's not because you don't have the willpower. You just don't have the tiny screwdrivers to unlock the mechanism. I will give you the tiny screwdrivers. All right. So let's go ahead and make this decision right now because I hate it when things linger, right? So let's just make this decision right now. You ready? Do you guys have any questions about the workshop itself before I do this little thing? Leonora doesn't even know I'm doing this. I just decided before we started the call I was going to add this in. So you can go to monstergetitdone.com. It starts on Tuesday, the 3rd of October, and it's 6 Tuesdays at 12 noon Pacific time. But like I said, they're recorded. You can watch anytime. And I used to worry that if people couldn't be there live, they wouldn't get as much out of it. But that is absolutely not my experience. I've got people in Australia and New Zealand and Hong Kong who can't, it's 2 a.m. for them. And they get a ton out of it. They get more done even than other people. So, and you've got the Facebook community and you can email me anytime. So Tuesday, October 3rd. And like I said, you get the entire year. So even if you're feeling like, oh God, Sam, October is such a zoo, it's such a busy, pardon me while I open up my water. It's such a busy time for me. I don't really know that this is a good time. I would go ahead and enroll anyway. It sounds like a commercial. Enroll anyway, just because, again, you always get the recordings and you get all year with me. And you get the How to Make $1,000 right away. So I would jump in. Yeah, it is a zoo, and so is November. I know. In fact, October and February are the 2 most productive months of the year in the American economy. More money gets made, more deals get closed, more events happen. October is not just a zoo for you, it's just a zoo, period. But it's also in that if you want something done, ask a busy person. It's it's almost easier to do it when you're already busy, and then you just add it to the busy, as opposed to trying to do it in August where everyone's like, oh, I really can't be bothered in August. So, good. Any other questions you have before I do this little let's decide right now exercise? $365, books, 365 Club, How to Make $1,000. And for those of you who've done this course before, I have decided I'm going to put in something new in each session because I've been doing some really cool new work around abundance, not just financial abundance, but ways to think about the world abundantly. So you don't get trapped in that. There's not enough clients. There's not enough money. There's not enough. What if somebody steals my idea? All those things, all those constricted ideas. And some other, there's some cool stuff that I've been working on, some values driven stuff, some stuff about how to make it so that your work is actually a force for good in the world. So I'm going to bake some of that in. So we're going to get so even if you've done this course before, and like I said, I have people who do it over and over again because it's about them, because it's new every time. That's why it's not boring for me to teach it, because it's new every time. Yeah, you might dig it. Okay, so let's decide. And then I'll give you the little tool, and then I'll answer your questions, and then we'll be done. So go ahead and close your eyes, shift around again. And yeah, go ahead and open your hands. I'm going to do a little breathing. If you're somewhere where you can close your eyes, do that. So let's inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I want you to imagine yourself somewhere very beautiful and very peaceful. Very beautiful, very peaceful. Maybe it's a real place. Maybe it's an imaginary place. Maybe it's some amalgamation of those things. Breathe into that beautiful, peaceful place. Maybe you can get some of those feelings, that falling in love feelings. Maybe you can generate some of those. And in front of you, I want you to imagine your project. And even if you're not sure what your project is, there it is. It takes some shape or form or color. Maybe it's a cloud or a wall or a sparkly thing, a box. And I want you to feel the connection, like there's a rope between you and your project. Feel that connection. Feel your project pulling you closer. See if you can't amp up the energy between you and your project. See if you can feel the energy that the project gives you as you draw closer to it. And just notice, is it warm? Does it have a color? Is there sparkles? Feel how much your project loves you. Even if your project is mad at you, even if your project is, being very patient, there's so much love there. Your project loves you so much. And I want you to ask your project, who do you need me to be? Who are you inviting me to be? Who might I be? Who might I be with you? And if an answer bubbles up, great. And if it doesn't, fine. You can just let the question linger. And now go and ask project, is this Get It Done workshop the right thing for us right now? And let the answer bubble up for you. Let the answer be the answer. Good. You can ask your project if it has any other advice for you or anything it wants you to know. And if you have anything you need to say to it. Good. And now knowing that that project is always there for you, that beautiful space is always there for you, that sensation of love is always there for you, let's do one more breath to come back to this time and space. You ready? Let's inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Good. You can make some notes about whatever you noticed, about your beautiful space, about your project, about who your project needs you to be, the invitation of your project, and whether Get It Done is a yes or a no for you. If it's a yes, then go to monstergetitdone.com and sign up right now. Don't delay. You're not going to be any more or less sure later. And you might as well get those bonuses right away, right? And if it's a no, then great. It's a no. Good. Do you all have anything else you want to ask me about that? Or anything you noticed during that little imagination game? This is the other thing I love to do, is to tie you into your inner knowing, into your deep creative wisdom, into your connection to your project, because that's where the right answer is. It's not outside. Christine says, I noticed I had about 3 vying projects. Yeah, we'll get that settled in the first session. I can work that out for you. Good. Kathy says, thank you. You're welcome, Kathy. Nessa, when is the deadline for signing up? Well, we start October 3rd, so if you want to put it off, I know there will be people registering at 11:59 a.m. on Tuesday, October 3rd. That's the way it always goes. And I know sometimes you might have to wait, like, oh, I get paid on this day, so I want to wait, or, that's fine. But there are special things that happen for people who sign up earlier. I wasn't really going to mention that, but it's true. Payday is happening soon. Good. Yeah, you can wait for payday. That's fine. But yeah, sooner is better. Plus, you get the bonuses right away. Scott says, thank you. You're welcome, Scott. Thank you. Good. Anything else? All right. Let me give you this little tip, this little strategy for blocks. So, and again, I'll use myself as a story. I mentioned that I go to CrossFit, and I love it. I'm very careful I'm very careful. Don't worry. But before I started going to CrossFit, I was really stuck around working out. I'd moved to Carpinteria like 5 or 6 years ago, and I just stopped. I used to work out like a maniac all the time. And it was triggering like this kind of perfectionistic, competitive part of my personality that I didn't really like. And so I didn't want to do that anymore. But I didn't really know what I wanted to do, and I couldn't really find anything I wanted to do. And then I wasn't doing anything. And like I'd go for beach walks every day and stuff, but it wasn't really sweaty, good workout stuff. And I was really mad at myself about it. I was really self-critical about like, why isn't this happening? Why I can't believe I'm not working out. When are you going to work out? You got to work out. When are you going to do this? And then 2 years ago, I had pretty major surgery. So then I sat on the couch for 2 years. So whatever residual levels of fitness I had ever had completely went away. And I was really feeling blah. Like I was like, what? I'm so blah. When am I going to work out? When am I going to work out? Blah, blah. Do you have a voice in your head that asks you this question? Yes, I thought so. So finally, I thought, change the voice, change the radio. So instead, every time I had the thought that I should be working out and I'm not, I changed the question to be this. I wonder when I'm going to start working out again. I wonder what's going to happen to inspire me. I wonder what's going to happen that's going to make me want to do it and going to be the perfect thing. I wonder when that will happen. I'm so curious. I'm so excited that this great opportunity is coming from somewhere at some point. And right now, since I'm clearly not doing it, it's just my job to sit here in quiet anticipation. So you can do that for yourself too. For the things that feel like blocks, even though it's not real, like I knew there was really nothing holding me back from doing it, there was just some invisible block, you can position yourself as being in happy expectation. I wonder when this will happen. I'm so looking forward to this happening. I wonder when I'll finish that book. I wonder when I'll start that business. I wonder what will happen to spark me to find the love of my life. I wonder what will happen that will make me happily and easily release this weight that I don't want or move or whatever. It's good, right? Again, simple, not always easy, simple. Kathy says, excellent webinar, Samantha. Well, thank you, Kathy. I'm so glad you liked it. Christine says, it's real good. I'm telling you, it's real good. And you can teach this to other people too. Because again, there's no reason, why would you be beating yourself up about something that's not happening anyway? Like if it's not happening, then embrace the fact that it's not happening and maintain your joyful expectation that it will happen. Because it's your idea that got delivered to you. You wouldn't have the idea if you couldn't do it. The idea is the divine invitation. The idea is the divine invitation. And it could be that get it done is your divine invitation, right? So if you're feeling that, I want you in. I would love to work with you. And just as a little reality check, it's not like if you don't take this class, you're going to have an extra $365 at the end of the year. It doesn't work, right? You're not. So the money's going to go somewhere. You might as well spend it on yourself. And I have to say, like, I often feel like a fitness trainer, like a health coach 35 years ago, when everybody thought that was ridiculous. Like, what, you're going to pay somebody to watch you do sit-ups? That's stupid. Like, there is nothing in the culture that says you should invest in your creativity. You should take a class. You should sign up and be part of a group all year where you get support on your creativity. Nobody says that. There's no model for that. Take a real estate seminar, sure. There's people do that. This, nobody does. So it's going to feel weird. But really, I encourage you. The results are amazing. So just to recap, you are sick and tired of inertia. You are sick and tired of procrastination. You are sick and tired of the endless self-criticism. You are primed for love. You are connected to the endless flow of love, and you are 100% in charge of the flow of love in your life. Now is the moment. This is it. There's no other moment other than now to take action. And your blocks aren't real. And you need help. You need more helpfuls. You need more helpers. You can't do it alone. I wish you could. If you could, you would, but you can't. You don't know what you don't know. I, on the other hand, have helped thousands of people with this. I think I can help you. So you need more helpfuls. So check out monstergetitdone.com. See how you feel. And join with us. I would love to have you be part of it. Marnie says, "Oh, damn, Sam, this is great stuff. Thank you. You're an answered prayer for me in this moment. Was feeling really upset, stuck, down, but now I feel inspired, uplifted, encouraged, empowered. Big, juicy hugs of appreciation and love." Oh, Marnie, I'm thrilled. Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing that. That's what I love. Uncorking the creativity, uncorking the encouragement and the uplift and the love. Barbara says, have a razzle-dazzle weekend. That sounds good. I like the idea of a razzle-dazzle weekend. Good. Anything else anybody needs to say or share or add in? Leonore, anything you want to chime in with?
Get It Done. It's going to be so fun. You should totally come join us. And I'm going to be working on my projects, and Sam's going to be working on our projects, so you should come join in the collective.
Oh, good. Martin says, get it done. Here we go once more. Yay! Martin's one of my favorite people to have in class, so I'm delighted. He's in the UK. If he's staying up late, the rest of you can get up early.
Right.
Good. Who else? Who else is in? We're going to do some old favorites and some new stuff. I'm just checking my notes, make sure I haven't skipped anything. Yeah. Nessa says she's in the UK too. Christine says, I'm in. Yes! Laura says, thank you. I have some ideas to get me going now. Good. I love that. I love that flow. Margaret, we can take it more than once? Of course you can take it more than once. I've had people take this really 4 or 5 times. She says, LOL. Yeah, okay. Don't tease me. All right. Good. Let's wrap up with one last breathing, with having your love surrounding you, your lit up love around you, and your connection to your project being deeper than ever before, knowing that even if now is not your moment, it's coming. It's coming. You wouldn't have the idea if you couldn't do it. I know you can do it. And the world needs it. Oh, Lord, the world needs it. Oh, Lord, the world needs your art. The world needs your uplift and encouragement. It needs your big ideas and your little ideas and your sweet, sweet heart out in the world. Not at home on the couch feeling sad and overwhelmed, but out, shining. You need to be a light for the world. The world needs your light. Let's do one more breath to close this circle. You ready? Let's inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for doing this with me. Thank you, Leonore. I have to put my glasses back on to stop the recording. There it is. Bye, everybody.